We just wanted to understand from you, right, in terms of modernization, India being into modernization from its cybersecurity laws perspective to keep up the pace with the emerging threats, right, and the global best practices. So, how do you see, what is your point of view in terms of emerging, right, the new cybersecurity threat landscape with the threat modeling in place? So, how do you see yourself, or what are your views in terms of that emerging landscape in cybersecurity?
We have had these threats all since we have had digital transformations happening, or even with the advent of a computer long back.
Yeah.
Right? We had some forms of threats. They were of different levels. Initially, they would be just viruses and worms, but with digital transformation and things happening at such a vast pace, wherein there's very little time, I would say, to ensure security by design.
Right.
All of this essentially leads to potential vulnerabilities in systems. To me, what is very critical and important for any organization is to ensure that they abide and implement basic standards.
Okay.
So something that I personally follow is ensuring that the company should essentially at least get themselves assessed and certified for ISO 27001 equivalent or a NIST framework, which enables them to leverage on the implementation of their processes in-house, whilst also then further extending that by implementing additional tools which are required to keep threats away, but yes, to keep the perpetrators away. And while the standards do not dictate what these solutions could be,
right,
it is important for the organizations themselves to assess the potential threats. And at the same time, I would also say that it doesn't need to be just IT threats. It's also important for the businesses in line with the requirements of a business continuity plan, right, to ensure that they conduct business impact assessments across the organization and not just focus on IT, right? So if we want to have a continuous process flowing through, which means business continuity at all times, you have to think through from the top, eventually leading to BIA, implementation of business continuity plans, and based on your own risk assessments, look at opportunities of doing a DRP or a disaster planning as required.
We see a lot of digital transformation initiatives being led by major organizations, right? And there is a lot of adoption and lots of sensitivity towards adopting blockchain, AI, right, and new technologies in order to leverage, in order to enable business to function as it is. So what is your thought process in terms of adoption of AI and its capabilities, and what are the major key risks that you see in adopting these as a technology by the organizations and then implementing it further and then to continuous monitoring?
Okay, like any other technology as such, you would obviously do and perform a risk assessment.
True.
So something that we are, or I've been essentially driving is anytime I look at opportunities of implementing a new solution, we ensure that we execute a VAPT, which is essentially doing an assessment of the vulnerabilities of the product, and also doing a penetration testing to ensure that if someone invokes it from outside of the organization, is there an opportunity that you could essentially breach into that application, right? I presume the same would also apply to any AI-driven application, while AI essentially would offer you based on how it is implemented, whether in the OT environment or in the IT environment. It's important that you perform a critical business impact assessment around the tools you are implementing or the software you are implementing, right? And all other things remain the same.
What would be your suggestion to the aspiring CIOs and the professionals who are listening to you currently or who would see this video?
I spent 30 years coming to this level, and I've never stopped learning.
Definitely.
To any of the CIOs or CIOs for that matter, I would say never stop learning. Don't focus just on tools. Look at a bigger framework of the standards we talked about. You will have new laws coming through. We have the DPDPA coming in already. For all aspiring CIOs, be grounded, keep learning, accept and adapt what's happening new. Whether it's AI, every solution that you implement, everything that you do, the moment you actually drive on the road, you have a potential risk.
Exactly.
So that doesn't stop us from driving on the road. But at the same point in time, ensure that you know what these risks are, attempt to mitigate them, adapt technologies, be an early adapter, keep your eyes and ears open, see what are the changes happening around you. Just not be an IT professional. look at it being a business professional, right? And
Very well.
attempting to improve your skills, whether leadership, whether soft skills and technical skills, to benefit yourself and help you reach out to the level that you aspire to be.
So that's a very valid advice, Rajesh ji. Thank you, Rajesh
So
ji.
nice
Thank you for spending time, and thank you for answering our questions.
So nice,
Thank you very
It
much.
was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.